2016 was the best year in a long, long time. Wait, hang on a minute. I pronounced fucking worst wrong. Boy, am I glad to be out of 2016 and finally be 1 year ahead, that being 2017. That is the year now. 2016 was so poor that it actually became a meme because of how terrible it seemed to be. Atrocities left and right, famous celebrities dying like flies, political correctness becoming more insane than ever with keyboard warriors and other stupid people trying to tell us what to think. Overall, it's just been a bit shit, really. Now first let me address the obvious. Of course nothing bad happened because it was the year 2016. There were just enough miserable events that happened to fall within the time frame of the planet Earth rotating once that we have recorded as the year 2016 to justify 2016 as being a huge assaholic bitch. While 2016 admittedly was quite good for my channel overall, I passed 1 million subscribers and probably other things. Can't really remember right now, but removing that, there are plenty of awful things that did happen in 2016 that I'd like to list to you in the remainder of this video. So let's put on our Watch Mojo hats and take you through some of the main reasons 2016 sucked all the balls. The sweaty, hairy, stinky balls. Let me just note that I'm not going to talk about terrorism in this video. It kind of goes without saying that it's bad, and if you are really desperate to find out about that kind of thing, you can literally search on Wikipedia for terrorist incidents by month. Make it nice and easy for you. It's hard enough to have any kind of levity with the subjects we already have in question, let alone stuff like that. So, yeah. Dead celebrities. Of course people die every single year. It's not like 2016 was especially bad in terms of quantity, as far as I know. But in terms of deaths that personally meant a lot to me, well, this is probably one of the most memorable years for all the wrong reasons in recent memory. David Bowie was the kind of person you'd never even imagine as someone who was physically able to die, so it came as a bit of a surprise to me. I'd always been a long-time fan of his music, but it was that situation for me where I knew basically all of his songs, but I never had a face or name to what I was hearing. So after he passed away and I properly looked through his discography, I was amazed to see how much more of a fan of him I was without even knowing, if that makes sense. You can call me a fake fan if you'd like, but I don't care. Once you really read into his character and everything he managed to achieve as an artist, well, he's definitely raised to being one of my biggest idols of all time. He's the kind of character and icon I really feel is missing an equivalent in pop culture today, and it's such a shame he had to pass before he'd really shown everything he had to offer. My personal favorite tracks by him are the 1999 remastered version of Heroes, Space Oddity remaster as well, and Ashes to Ashes. It's thanks to him that I have a much deeper appreciation for music, and I always have a special affection for him, just for being the coolest fucking guy ever. Carrie Fisher is another sad and unexpected one for me, such a staple of my childhood, and I think for a lot of you watching's childhood as well. It's reminded me that I'm probably going to live through the deaths of the entire original Star Wars cast, which is just going to suck more and more every time. It's not every day that such an important pop culture icon such as Carrie Fisher comes around. Not to mention that The Empire Strikes Back is one of my favorite movies. Her performance in it is actually really charming and effective, as if you didn't know at this point. I rewatched it a couple of days after her death as a kind of tribute, and I swear that film will never get old to me. Her work on raising awareness for mental health is also pretty admirable. Admiral Akbar's voice actor died on April 3rd of 2016, and so did Kenny Baker, who was R2-D2. He died. Not a very good time for Star Wars fans. The deaths were just silly, like it even got to the point where random people like Henry Heimlich, who invented the
Heimlich maneuver,
died, and the guy who invented the Kinder Egg and the red cups you have at parties, he died. Like, Jesus Christ, I'm just gonna have to stop listing them here because it just gets more and more depressing each time. Speaking of incredibly depressing, I've got something equally as depressing to add to this list, making this a little bit personal for a second here, but my childhood dog I had since I was about 10 died in 2016. You may recognize her, she was featured in some of my videos.
Doggy, do you know how to make what are we doing?
Rest in peace, Flossie the dog. You're the best. Weirdly enough, she died the exact same day I got Argyle the corgi. So that's something at least. I'd been lucky enough to have not lost anyone important in my life until Flossie, so let's just say I didn't react particularly well to it. This singular thing alone was enough to make 2016 fucking awful for me personally, let alone things like dead celebrities and Politics. What a bastard year for politics, eh? Even if you're not in the UK, you probably had a good giggle over the mess that is Brexit. What a complete fucking piss take. The political state of the UK is just embarrassing at this point. I'm completely discouraged and disinterested in researching and reading up about the politics of my country now. Not out of ignorance, but more because I don't really enjoy getting continuously more and more pissed about how the country I'm living in is being managed. Just fuck off and get your act together. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes any of you. Man, yeah, I see you Yanks over there having a fun time, aren't you? I saw you laughing away over Brexit, but after seeing the result of your election, I bet that shut you up. All I can say in response to that is, ha! Memes and other stupid shit. I feel like 2016 was a very mixed year for memes. Of course, there were my own custom memes of Durplant hating Dust Zubu and probably more, I can't remember. And all of those alone are completely fucking sickening. But not quite as sickening as some of the more well-known memes and stupid shit that happened in 2016. We literally had a dude who dressed as fucking Batman who would chase around clowns in the streets. Killer clowns. I'm not making this up. Like, this happened in real life. Does that even count as a meme? Or is it just society collapsing? Who knows at this point? One of the most notable memes of the year was definitely Harambe the gorilla, a poor silverback gorilla who was shot in a zoo because some child managed to get into the enclosure and got dragged around like a piece of cheese. And as if that wasn't bad enough on its own, for some reason the internet really attached themselves to the idea of this ape and basically ruined gorillas for life, for everybody. I will never be able to look at a picture of a gorilla ever again and not think it. Look, let's just do a little test. Look at these. Look at these pictures right now. Look at that one. Look at this one. And you just go ahead and try to tell me that you're not thinking it. You are definitely thinking it. Don't lie. You can't escape it. Of course, my channel was deleted this year briefly for some reason. And there was that Crikey Cameron drama, which sucked balls. I genuinely hope I can avoid any major drama like this for a while, if not forever. I'm honestly sick of it at this point. 2016 was also a particularly bad year for social justice and political correctness, whether it be humongous or that fucking racist and obnoxious 2017 resolutions for white guys video that MTV just managed to sneak into the end of the year like a fucking shit-smeared cherry on top. Why can't we just be normal? Don't target white people or black people or any people. Just don't be a fucking asshole and be reasonable. Is that so much to ask, you fucking cunts? Not everyone in the whole world is out to get you, you know. Most of us couldn't care less about the color of your fucking skin or your gender or your sexual persuasion. It doesn't matter. The quicker we normalize these fucking things, the quicker things will relax. We're all people at the end of the day with our own problems and worries. Of course, things aren't perfect. Of course they're not. But being at each other's throats all the fucking time for this petty shit isn't going to solve anything. Just calm down and let's all laugh at Harambe together. Or is that offensive to somebody? Probably. It probably is offensive to somebody. God-awful, terrible fucking movies. I think I'll wrap this video up with a couple of mentions to movies I absolutely fucking despised in 2016, seeing as I quite like movies and they're fun to talk about, if you didn't know. I'm sure you're incredibly surprised to learn that probably my most hated movie of the year, from what I've seen at least, was Suicide Squad. Bravo, boys. Bravo, you win the fucking worst film I saw last year award. I won't beat The Dead Man Who Can Climb Anything any longer than I already have. I already made a video on that if you want to see it. But let me just say that probably my favorite quote of all of 2016 came from that movie, which is kind of a meme at this point because of how fucking awful and poorly written it is. This quote, of course, goes as follows. She was fearless and crazier than him. She was his queen, and God help anyone who dared disrespect his queen.
God help anyone who disrespected the queen.
Just fucking wonderful. Can't believe those fucking lines were in a movie that I saw. Other honorary mentions for fucking terrible films I saw are Ghostbusters 2016, which sucked and was unfunny. It's hardly even worth talking about. Independence Day Resurgence, one of the worst CG-heavy snore fests I saw all year, with a plot so boring and predictable that it will either piss you off or just send you to sleep.
What makes you think you could take on an alien army?
We won 20 league titles and 12 FA Cups.
4 League Cups and 20 Community Shields.
I'm fairly certain we can handle a few out-of-towners.
Strike hard, strike fast. Watch each other's backs out there. Remember, we're a team. Wayne, you're on point.
Game on, lads!
The only kind of amusing thing is seeing how little of a fuck Jeff, thanks for the paycheck Goldblum, gave this movie.
Roger that. Roger that. Roger that. Roger that.
Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows was obnoxious and incomprehensible. Did not enjoy that one.
You do guys like a thing?
And finally, let me just mention a film that I hate nearly on the same level as Suicide Squad. That being Ratchet and Clank, based off the video game. Ratchet and Clank. Wow, what a fucking mess. I don't think I've ever seen a less funny movie in my life. And I've seen Grown Ups too. With dialogue literally along the lines of, "Huh, buddy, I wonder what I should call you. Maybe I'll call you Clank." That's the name of the movie, right? I'm Ratchet, you're Clank. Bad animation, atrocious writing, awful voice acting. I honestly turned it off about an hour in because it sucked so hard. And as far as movies I liked, hang on, let me just put my I love everything mask on. As far as movies I liked, again, out of only what I've seen, bear in mind I still have yet to see some of the big hitters such as La La Land, Moonlight, and Manchester by the Sea, etc., etc. Arrival, which I thought was fantastic. A documentary called Tickled, which I absolutely adore. Hell or High Water was a very traditional crime western, which I thought was quite good. And Hunt for the Wilder People was a lot of fun. Taika Waititi, I think that's how you say his name, is really starting to become one of my favorite directors. And that's not just because I have a bias to people who came from my homeland. And that's about all I have to say about 2016. I'll see you all in the next video, you smelly fart boys. Oh, and girls. Don't forget, they fart too.